Anything we make really important, what we do is we give that a lot of energy, and what the universe does is the law of balance in our reality is that energy must be mitigated. That energy must be relieved because there's excess energy there. So what happens is anything we really, really want, we resist and we do not allow into our life. Anytime we put someone on a pedestal, what we are doing is we're putting them above ourselves, and then what happens is it creates resistance because it's giving something more energy and more importance than it actually has. Everything in reality is neutral. This is why there may be somebody that you're maybe not attracted to, and it's very easy for you to walk in and then talk, but then there's somebody over there that you actually, in your mind, begin to glorify. You put them on a pedestal, and we go over to them, you stifle, then you kind of stutter. The reason being is because there's more resistance infused into the second scenario because there's more importance infused there, and that importance is felt at an energetic level. So that's why they say if you treat someone like a celebrity, they will treat you like a fan. It's literally that energy dynamic of importance. And anything we make very important, we put on a pedestal and we immediately create resistance around it. Now, when it comes to dating and when it comes to attracting love, this is a very important part to understand because many people may have a certain level of codependency tendencies. They may feel very needy when they start to date, or they may feel even very needy in just the dating stage of talking to either other men or women. The key to this is becoming aware of where that's coming from. Now, and talking about this in the form of the importance, here's what happens. When we have a lower sense of self-worth, what we do is we then believe we are smaller than we actually are. So on the other side of that importance, it's like an unimportance almost where we're giving it a lack. It's almost an increased importance on the negative side. We're saying, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough. So what we do is we look to the outside and we put people on a higher pedestal. What that then does is that creates the resistance, but where that's coming from is it's coming from a level of unworthiness. We believe we're not worthy, and because we're not worthy, we're then looking to fulfill our sense of worthiness through getting the validation of somebody that's on a pedestal. So the key to this of decreasing importance is first off realizing your own sense of self-worth. That's the first step to this process. Become aware of your own sense of self-worth. And as you start to become aware of that, you can then see that you are then equal to the person that you were putting on a pedestal. So in energy dynamics and in love and attracting and even dating, the key is to come at it from a frame that I'm already whole and complete. And a lot of times this also stems from childhood trauma because when we had something that happened when we were a kid, we started to feel shame or we started to feel like we're not worthy. And that shame says, there's something wrong with me. And because there's something wrong with me, then I'm not worthy, and I will then tolerate or only be in certain type of relationships that reflect that belief back because that belief is on autopilot. So realize that when it comes to importance, when it comes to love, this is about realizing that first off, your own sense of self-worth, which means that maybe what you do is you start really going after what you're passionate about because you're worth it. You start drawing boundaries from people draining your energy because you're worth it. You start doing more activities of self-love. You start taking care of yourself more rather than people-pleasing other people, realizing you were people-pleasing because you were putting them on a pedestal, giving them more importance than yourself, and then it's hard to say no. So the first thing is about making and realizing your own sense of self-love, your own sense of self-worth, and to stop abandoning yourself for other. That's a lot of times what happens in this whole importance and excessive energy dynamic. Anything we make important, we energetically separate ourselves from it. So first off, realizing your own frame of reality. When I was in dating, when I was working 9-to-5 jobs, I'd always attract women that were also working 9-to-5 jobs they hated because you attract what you are. If you want to attract something new and you want to attract someone that's going to be an equal match to your vibe, be the most authentic vibe you can be. Be going after your purpose or your passion, or be living in alignment with your true values. That's another thing when it comes to love. Many people don't know what their value system is. They say, I want a woman that's like this, or this, or I want a man that's this, or this. But the thing is those three values, are you living by those three values? Because if you're not living by it, then you're not going to attract somebody that also has it. You see, so this is about really the alignment to yourself, your alignment to yourself and your own principles, because you get that which you are. I attract women now that are doing what they love, or at least on their purpose, you know. And it's because I'm doing what I love, you know. It's an interesting energy dynamic difference. So that's part of it. Now, the second thing is simply start to take people off of the pedestals and stop making things more important than they are. If you believe you're unworthy or you believe that love is going to complete you, then that thing's on a pedestal. It's not going to. There's a story many times that'll keep similar energy dynamics at place that were there during childhood because we haven't healed our childhood yet. We haven't become at peace with our childhood and accepted it. You know, a big part of this for me was realizing that I've been replaying similar energy dynamics between me and my parents growing up. I felt shame. I felt like there was something wrong with me when the intention shifted in my family when my brother was born when I was 3, and then also the emotional availability because my mom was going through a lot of stuff. It's not her fault, but her dad passed away when I was 1, and ever since then I've been attracting women into my life that I subconsciously try to fix, because if I can fix them, then maybe they're going to love me. And then I put them on a pedestal and I feel this like unhealthy attachment style. And what I've realized is that I can stop identifying with that shame of thinking there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. And at the same time, realizing that it's not my job to fix. Realizing that they're doing the best they can with where they are, but I don't have to continue to try to think that this is about me, that I'm unworthy because someone else feels like there's stuff going on in their life. And I've attracted women that also have stuff going on in their life. And I realized, wait, this isn't about me. It's not like if I get you, then I'm worthy. I'm already worthy. And then from there, my standards raised. I'm like, not like I'm like, you know, looking down on people, but my standard raised of my own sense of self-love. Well, this is what I really want. This is how I really want to be treated. This is the energy dynamics that I really prefer. So in a way, it's increased my sense of self-worth. So when it comes to this process, realize that you, in your reality, are getting a direct reflection of what you believe you deserve. And if you have some type of shame or some type of unworthiness, then you're probably putting up with more than anyone that feels secure in love would. So the key to this is you becoming aware of that and then not giving anything excess importance, which means excess meaning, really. It's giving it more meaning than yourself. And when you do that, that's when the energy dynamics come at play. If you put someone on a pedestal, I've had it before where I started dating someone, I started putting them on a pedestal, and then I stopped, and then the attraction goes the other way. Because they can feel that energy off of you, and if you're giving them too much importance, too much validation, or becoming needy, it repels them. Because that's how the energy works. So take people off of a pedestal by becoming aware of your own sense of self-worth, and that's when you will more so align with love in an easy way. If being in a loving relationship is on a pedestal and it would be amazing, then it's not equal to your reality. It must be natural for you to experience that. It's almost like, well, I love myself, so of course someone else is going to love me. It is natural for you to experience your goals, and you can apply this towards any area of your life. If you say, once I make this kind of money, it's going to feel amazing and it's on this big pedestal, then it's creating excess importance to it, and it's resistance that is infused, and it's going to prolong the process. So desire does not get results. Desire, I really, really want, says I really, really lack. The only time desire does get results is when desire is translated and dissipated through action. The excessive importance is dissipated through action. And that action, because then people take action. Maybe it's out of neediness, but then eventually that gets results. But just wanting something does not get results. And in the same way, realize that it must be natural for your identity to be experiencing love because you're already loving yourself. You already have a strong sense of self. You're in your own frame of reality. You're leading in your life. You realize that this really is not about the conditioning of Disney movies of believing that you're not worthy, whole, and complete already. You are. You are. You don't have to believe those beliefs. You can realize, what are your stories about love? What are your stories about self? What are your stories about life? Which means, what are your beliefs? And then what you do is you start putting the awareness more within your own body. And as you do, you begin to decrease the level of importance that you are giving to things like this. So in general, this is the power of that. And there is a meditation that helps you feel the inside of that self-love. There are thousands of people that have attracted love through this meditation, through listening to it for 21 days. Read the comments from thousands of people that will increase your belief that it can work for you too, and then commit to it for 21 days. You'll see that below. It's the most popular video on my YouTube channel. It's got over 4 million views now. It's on attracting love in a relationship. And And all it is you feeling that love on the inside. It's natural for you. It's easy. And then you see an equal reflection in your life begin to establish itself. So with that being said, like this video if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I make videos 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And other than that, as always, much love. Peace, much love, and namaste.